Good afternoon. My name is Judy Taylour, as he said, and I'm here to talk about not only my favorite utilities, but other people's favorite utilities. I sent an email out to various people and said, I'm putting this presentation together. Would you please let me know what you really can't do without? And as with anything having to do with APCUG, some of them got back to me and some of them didn't. So here we go. Ccleaner, tops on my list. Yomar Cleary, the vice president of Big Bear, says it's the first thing she puts on every computer she buys, so she's used it for many years. She loves the way it cleans out her browser system files and thinks it's a well-rounded program, and she also uses it with Malwarebytes, and she says that they help keep her computer working without any problems. Linda Gotts, editor and webmaster from an Orange County group that no longer meets, says it's trustworthy, reliable for safely cleaning the registry, cookies, orphan files, leftover installation files, among many other things. And again, it's one of my favorites and a lot of people's favorites. So here's what it looks like. I imagine everybody watching and listening has probably used this at one time or the other, but if you hadn't, the first thing you do in where the windows and the application red boxes are is you go through all those check marks and you decide what you actually want the program to clean or delete from your hard drive. I personally don't like to have my recently typed URLs go away, so I uncheck that box. This is the time that you smell the roses and carefully go through and uncheck what you want to keep. You're going to click on Analyze, and then you're going to click on Run Cleaner. And this is scary for some newbies, first-time users, because it says it's going to permanently delete the files. Do you wish to proceed? Well, yes, I want to get rid of everything. I would never check the box down there that says, do not show me this message again, just in case at the last minute I had second thoughts. It also cleans your registry. Some people have only ever used Ccleaner to clean off their hard drives, but many people never touch the registry, and a lot of us haven't got a clue what it does. It's a database of preferences and settings for apps and Windows operating system. And according to Piriform, who makes Ccleaner, installing and uninstalling apps can litter the registry with old entries, and of course they say it can cause error messages and slow down your computer. Same thing with malware. We might delete it, but there still might be some things lingering. Identity theft, apps can save data in the registry with our personal information. We delete the app, but some data may remain. So, on the left-hand side, you'll see the registry is going to look for everything with a checkbox. This, again, is something where you're going to smell the roses. You're going to take your time, and you're going to say, is there anything there that I really don't want the registry cleaner to muck around with? So I scanned for issues, and it says again, do you want to back up your changes to the registry? And of course, I clicked on yes. And I went to my registry backup file and saved the text file. And lo and behold, on this almost brand new Windows 10 computer, I had 129 problems with my registry. Something was missing, something was invalid, and being brave, I clicked on Fix All Selected Issues, and theoretically, they all went away. I've turned the computer off and on many times. I've had no problems with anything that happened to be in the registry that is no longer there. It also has an uninstall feature. Obviously, they want Ccleaner to be your be-all, end-all program. And when I was talking with John Kennedy the other night, he said that someone told him that in Ccleaner uninstall, you will find some things that are not listed or hidden in the Windows uninstall. I've already uninstalled the Wild Tangent games, the 3D Builder, and the Amazon app via the Windows uninstall, but lo and behold, Ccleaner says they're still hanging around somewhere. So I'm going to go into this after the presentation, and I'm going to get rid of all the stuff that I sure thought I got rid of with Windows Uninstall. This is one of my favorite pieces, is the startup. If your computer takes forever and a day to start up, that means everything in your notification area, and Elliot talked about showing everything in your notification area so you can see exactly what is starting up. And you can go in here and you can disable. Now, in my last laptop that I had used for 2 years, I had 1.5 tons of stuff in startup because I had so many programs. Again, this is kind of semi-new program computer, so I don't deal with OneDrive, so I disabled it. It was the only one that I could at this particular point in time. But as I start adding more programs, I will be revisiting this to make sure that things that I only use once a week or once a month, or that I'm very capable of clicking on my taskbar or my desktop icon, it doesn't need to start up. It'll clean your browser plugins. I don't use Internet Explorer, but I thought, what the heck, I don't use OneNote or Skype, so I just disabled all of those, and I went through Firefox, Chrome, Google, and Opera. It will analyze your disk, tell you what type files are using your disk space. I thought, okay, I click on Analyze, and there's my wonderful pie chart that says other files, whatever they may be, obviously program files, I would think, and things like this, are taking up more room than anything else. But if you have an older computer, and this shows you that your picture or your video folders are huge, and you have very little disk space left, this will give you the opportunity to offload it to an external hard drive, up in the cloud, whatever. It also looks for duplicate files. And keeps track of your system restore. Remember, it wants to be the be-all, end-all for you. And you can see where it did one regular one on the 17th. I did one on the 18th for this PowerPoint presentation, and I installed the newest version of Evernote on the 19th, and before Evernote was installed, it did a restore point for me. I said, thank you very much. And Drive Wiper. I'm going to demo this for whatever it does at my next club meeting. I had one Vista to 7 to 10 that wouldn't go to 10. So I am going to take it in, and we're going to see what this program does, and I'm going to override it so I can take it to the recycle next time we have an e-recycle event around town. So back to this. This would very easily make a meeting presentation, maybe a mini presentation where you could go through every single one of the things that I just did and do a live demo to educate your members on exactly what Ccleaner does. And as John said, it is free. You can buy the pro version, but the free one works just fine. If you have something that you cannot get rid of, Revo Uninstaller, and again, it's free, works great. Back in the day, my daughter had a Palm Pilot, and I uninstalled the software of the Palm Pilot because the company got away with them. And there was one thing that every time she turned her computer on, it popped up and said, hi there, we're looking for this file. Drove her crazy. I kind of thought that was cool, but being a wonderful mother, I got Revo Uninstaller, and it found that little piece that was still sticking around and got rid of it for me. I've had the time to use it one other time, but other than that, it just sits and waits in case I need to use it. And by golly, it looks just like Uninstall. It looks just like Ccleaner's, but up at the top of the list is not that Wild Tangent app. But there's the Amazon app telling me again that Windows Uninstall really didn't get rid of it. And it says, are you sure you want to do this? And we say yes. And it did create a system restore point for us. And we say thank you. and off we go. My dentist's office manager called one day and said, we have tried everything. We've got something on our hard drive we cannot get rid of, and it's mucking up our system. Bob G. from Avast had just given a presentation to my group after the Southwest Conference, and one of his recommended utilities was Ccleaner. But he said, be very careful when using it because it's very aggressive. So I talked her through it, and it removed their malware. She had tried everything that she knew of and everything that I had talked about in the computer club because my dentist is a club member. But Bob says, make sure you only click on the app you want to remove. It's very aggressive, and it will sometimes list other apps that you really don't want to remove. So this is another time to stop and smell the roses, very slow, very carefully, make sure you are removing the correct one. File Hippo, we have our Tuesday updates from Microsoft that seem to be coming more often. This is a download website that reminds me that I have programs on my computer that need to be updated. Their little app manager scans it and says, you've got outdated software. What do you want to do about it? They have lots of categories. Most popular up at the top is Ccleaner, go figure. And it says, welcome. Would you like us to do this for you every day at 9 a.m.? Would you like us to do it at startup? Or do you want to do it yourself? So you can choose when you want File Hippo to take a peek at your hard drive. And when I ran it, it said, hey, Judy, you have 3 new updates. Do I want to open it and look at it and see what they are, or I just want to shine it on and say, don't have time, not interested, ignore. It'll come up another time. Well, I had 3 updates. One I was not interested in, so I ignored it. I downloaded Evernote. You saw where the restore point was created, but I chose the program. Select this option if you don't want to see any updates. I chose the update. I said, I don't have time for this right now, not really interested. I clicked the update button, clicked OK, and that went away, and I was back to the 2 updates instead of 3. BellArc Advisor. Elliot Stern, the PC Maestro, who gave a Windows 10 presentation this morning, says it provides a detailed inventory report about your Windows computer and the kitchen sink. He finds it one of the most useful reports available to document your make, model, serial number, memory configuration, and 5 pages worth of stuff when I did mine and printed it out. It can give you the installation code for Windows operating system and most versions of MS Office. And he says having these codes available is extremely useful if you ever need to reinstall the OS or MS Office. It did not pick up my Windows 10 license key, though. And he said they're working on that. He has his own computer shop in Westchester, which is just north of LAX. And he runs BellArc on every single one of his customers' computers. So if he's doing it on site, he has the information, or if he is doing it remote, he has every single thing that they have on their computer because it lists all your software and everything. And customers can never remember stuff like that when you ask them. So here it is. And it says, would you like to check for new advisor security definitions? Well, yeah. So do you want to check the box that says, remember this choice and don't ask me again? This would be handy to do that and save you a step. I had just downloaded it, and I know sometimes when you download programs, you don't get the latest version. So I always click on the yes, I want to check to make sure I have the latest version, and it came back and said, you do. So it says it's only for personal use. You can't use it. Corporate, educational, military, or government installations is prohibited. It's locally created on my computer by BellArc Advisor. It was not sent to their web server. It just sits right here on my hard drive. And there is my computer profile summary. And Again, I don't have much software on this computer. Granted, I have more than what is listed on the left-hand side there, but I don't have a whole laundry list yet. But it lists all of them, and then it had all of the software licenses under that column. It said that all my hot fixes from Microsoft were updated correctly, but I was missing 2 security updates, and they were for, of course, Adobe. And something that I thought was interesting is of all your long list of software versions that you have, it shows you how often you have been using it. And what a cool way to find something that you haven't used in 1,000 years. And you then might wonder why in the world you still have it on your hard drive. On the left-hand side of their screen, they have software licenses, missing updates, etc. You can click and go down to exactly what it is you are interested in. So, I'm just a regular old person out here in Southern California, and many people have said, "Yo, use this program to download videos, use this, use that." Well, I found Computer Hope that has lots of good training things on it. And all you need to do is on the right-hand side, click on Set Information About YouTube, and it's a very nice tutorial page, and you copy and paste your URL into the box, and then all you do is click on Download. It takes you to savefrom.net, which now has a little note that says you can install it if you'd like to. I was using Google Chrome. I'm assuming if I was using Edge or Opera, it would have a download for that. And it lets me choose from all of those formats. I clicked the one I wanted. I clicked on download, and it went right to my downloads folder. I'm sorry, it went to my video folder, which is where I wanted it to be. And I use VLC Media Player. Jim Evans said, "You must use this," so I saluted and said, "Sounds good to me." And it is simple, it is fast, and it is powerful, and it plays everything. The only time I really look at videos is if I'm showing one at the computer club meeting. We have kind of iffy Wi-Fi there, so there's no way we could ever watch a VTC video for a meeting online. So I just use my Computer Hope link and download the video and show it directly from my hard drive. It's free, there's no spyware, no ads, and nobody's tracking what I'm doing. Well, I reached out to Joe Nuvolino from Pikes Peak and said, you know, what do you use? And he said, but you don't have YTD on your list. Well, I'd never heard of YTD before, so he said, it's great. Not only does it allow you to capture YouTube videos, it allows you to convert videos to one of 9 different formats. And he said he didn't go to CES this year, but he put a whole meeting together by downloading various and sundry CES 2016 videos and gave it at his meeting, as his members would expect him to do, because he's a consistent visitor at Comdex and then CES. So as you can see, the convert videos to one of 9 different formats isn't something that's for me, because I'm not into that. But for you techie people, this might be the program for you. And he's been using it for a long time. And you can download them from 60+ popular sites, convert, you can check the status of your downloads and conversions as you go. If you're busy, you can pause and resume. You can convert at any time. And here's where you copy and paste your URL into the box there, and you click on the ever popular download at the bottom of the screen, and off you go. And of course they say, please, would you like to go to Pro for faster download speeds? We're at home. Do we care? We can go be doing something else while this is downloading. And you can see where your download, convert, and play tabs are up there. Of course, my favorite security program is Avast. That is, along with Malwarebytes and Ccleaner, are the programs that I load on computers when I'm working on somebody's computer. We all know it's free. I have never had a problem with it. I have never gotten a virus. It's on all my family's computers, all my friends, the majority of the people in the computer club use it, and on and on and on. But Bob G asks, have you updated to the Nitro update? Don't waste a minute. Lightweight protection, that won't slow you down. So if you have not checked your Avast lately, if that happens to be what you use, make sure that you have downloaded the Nitro update. And of course, I love Malwarebytes. Couldn't live without it. When you're downloading it, smell the roses. Don't forget to uncheck the Enable Free Trial of Malwarebytes Anti-Malware Premium. If you don't, you will be nagged to death. That's one of the things that Bob G recommends unchecking. Stop and smell the roses when you're downloading software and you're getting ready to. Just don't go next, 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 finish, and then find that you have a new toolbar or you have a couple of programs that you wonder where they came from. That's because you did not uncheck the boxes. So take your time when you're downloading free programs, paid programs. They both have them. So I was getting ready to scan, and it did check to make sure that I had the latest version before it started scanning. It took 20 minutes, and it said, aha, we did not find anything but 7 non-malware things. And of course, they were the ever popular PUPs, potentially unwanted programs. When I do this on my grandson's computer, I found one. He had 359 PUPs one time, but his cousin had over 500. They play Minecraft and Steam. These kids have no clue what is coming down to their hard drives. And again, you know, they're just unwanted programs, but they're not necessary. And you can see they're in the registry, the majority of 5 out of 7. So you need to use Malwarebytes, especially if you have kids or grandkids that are playing games, to get rid of the PUPs. They just don't need to be there. So I did that. They were quarantined, and off they went. I also use their anti-exploit program. I have it on all of the browsers I use, and every time I click on a browser to open it, I get a pop-up in the lower right-hand corner that says anti-exploit is now working with whatever version browser I'm using. It's compatible with most common anti-malware and antivirus products. It doesn't use a signature database, so there's no need to, you know, get the little pop-up that says, would you like to update now? It defends against drive-by download attacks, protects browser add-ons, including Java. I don't have that on my computers anymore. And it does protect the 4 browsers there. iDrive Backup is my favorite backup program. They're out in Calabasas, California, which is about an hour from me. I love it that they're homegrown. I back up all my PCs. I don't have any Macs, and I don't back up my mobile devices there. But you can, all into one account. And they have military-grade encryption with a private key option. And what happens if you decide to go with iDrive and you have a huge amount of stuff on your hard drive that you are going to need to get to Calabasas, so to speak, and it's going to take you forever and a day, they will send you a 3 terabyte USB drive via express service, and you copy or back up all your files to that, send it back to them, and they will set up your initial hard drive backup that way, which I think is way cool, and it's totally free. It's just part of the deal. $70, so to speak, for a terabyte per year, which is, you know, right in line with everything. They often have specials, $52. When I put my daughter Stacy onto this, she paid all of $14.99 for the first year. What I really like about it is every single time it backs up at 7:30 every night, I get a email back from them that says, hey, this is what you had, this is what we backed up, everything worked just fine. In this last April, they backed up 41 files of whatever. But I really appreciate that, because I like to know that in addition to my external hard drive I back up to, that my stuff is really being backed up to iDrive, just in case. I live in the Santa Clarita Valley. So far in the last month, we've had 4 fires, 2 large ones, one on the west, one on the east, and 2 smaller ones on the north. So you never know what's going to happen around here. You know, they say California's earthquake country. Comes to find out we're fire country too. I now live in a fire zone, which I'm not too happy about. John Kennedy absolutely loves TeamViewer. He thinks it's the best remote access program around. It's free, cross-platform, has a run as needed version, which doesn't have to be installed and running all the time. That's a get help only option. It can be set up to assure the people that you are working with that this is a brand new password. It's going to go away when we're finished, and there's no way I can get back into your computer again. If you would like a TeamViewer presentation, he gave one to my group that was very well received, and he's available for that via the Speakers Bureau. But he loves TeamViewer. And what do you want? You want a basic installation, personal, non-commercial use, accept and finish. Very little to click on to get it downloaded. And here's what it looks like. And each time you'll get new numbers, and which again is assuring to the newbie if they say, can you help me with my computer? John uses this all the time with the students in the classes he teaches back in Ohio, and he uses it with his user group members to help them out too. But again, the security is good because the people who are falling for these Microsoft scam companies, they put something on your hard drive. You don't really know whether they're, coming back anytime they'd like to or not, but with TeamViewer, you can't. This is Joe's absolutely favorite program in the whole free world. I have a member at my group that never shuts up about this. Can I get him to come in and demo it? No, but he thinks this is, better than sliced bread. Joe's been using it forever and a day, and he has them all photos on his website. He says thousands of photos. He's a registered user, and when he has a question, they usually respond with 24 hours. He recently reviewed it on its 20th anniversary. I picked up the article out of their newsletter and sent it out via push, and I have seen his 20th anniversary article republished in many of APCUG's member group newsletters. And this is everything that it does. And like I said, my member, John Metcalf, thinks it's the greatest thing that came down the pike. And I've heard other people talk about this. So you might want to give it a try just for grins and see if you like it as well as Joe does. This is my all-time favorite also, starting with Ccleaner, and here's Nitro PDF. I came home from the Southwest Technology Conference in San Diego one year, and there was an email from Adobe that said, we've been hacked, please immediately download this fix, and I went, drat. And I did it. Well, 2 weeks later, they were hacked again, and I thought to myself, I have enough problems worrying about the Microsoft Tuesday updates and people trying to exploit the holes. I really don't want to worry about that with Adobe Reader, so I went out looking for something else that I could use. I started with Foxit. I met them up at CES, and I thought, okay, I will try that. And then I found Nitro PDF, and I had used the original $99 Nitro program at work. I found it far superior than Adobe's much more expensive program. And they let me be a beta tester, and I really enjoy doing that. And I love it. It's got the ribbon up there. It does every single thing that I need it to do. It does it very quickly. And this is much better for me. And nobody cares about Nitro PDF. Nobody's trying to hack it or get malware in with it or anything like that. And I'm a very happy camper with that. So you can create from scratch. You can review when you're collaborating. You can sign documents, whatever. If you're tired of having to update Adobe Reader all the time urgently, you might want to give Nitro PDF a try. Evernote. This is one of Huey Poplock's very favorite program in the whole free world. He uses Evernote and Feedly, an RSS program, to find interesting tech news and save that information to be used for his SIG, blogs, Facebook posts, etc. It saves him hours every single day. And I say, do you miss those yellow Post-its we used to stick around our CRT monitors? Enter Evernote to help us remember things and get us organized, because we can't remember everything anymore. And we don't want to store a lot of paper because this is the digital world we're living in now. So Huey says Evernote is a note container that you can save entire online articles or pages, PDFs, photos, voice, handwritten, or even create your own articles and checklists. You can use it on everything. PC, Mac, Chrome, iOS, or Android. You can even send it to an Evernote account specific email address so you can get it later. He calls it a shoebox of notes that you can access from anywhere at any time. It's got a good search engine. It's very quick and powerful. It will even find words contained in a photo. He says it's a great way to stay organized. And it's available in a paid version that, you know, we're usually really only interested in the free version, and that works just fine for me. So here's mine. There's the top. There's a new note. Whenever you want to, put some more information in it, you click on new note. This sits down on my taskbar at all times, and a new note comes up, and you type in the subject of it, which is what appears listed down there. And then you copy and paste, you drag and drop, however you want to do it into the body of it. It looks just like an email, and it's saving in the background all the time. So back in April 15th, oh, that was tax day, I decided that I would like to put social media links of all APCUG member groups up on the website to give them an extra place where they can have some visibility. So I sent out an email to all of the presidents and the APCUG reps and one other officer, and I got my last submittal on June 21st. And of course, as I said, with things with APCUG, you don't hear back from many people, so I had to search Facebook and Twitter and et cetera, to get a lot of them. But this was a very handy place that when I got the email in with the information, I just copied it and pasted it in line. The hot link to their Facebook or web, whatever, transferred right over with no problems. I was doing a presentation in June on about robocalls, and I was on the internet researching information for that. So that was my June 5 robocall down there. I did a wearables presentation in August rather, and I got the information from the Quad Cities newsletter, and I just put everything in here. When I worked, I put everything in a Word document, year by year. So if somebody called and said, hey, what about the blah, 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 I just quickly searched my Word document. This works absolutely fantastic. And, you know, you see a URL and you think, oh, don't have time to go there now, but I'll remember it and I'll go later. But you don't remember it. You quickly copy and paste it in here in a note, and 6 months from now, you can be looking at this and go, aha, I remember, I wanted to go there. So this is what it looks like. I copied and pasted each one of those in order, and my list goes on and on. And after the conference in October, I will revisit this and see if I can, you know, flesh it out some more. And then I will get this up on the APCUG2.org website just to give the group some extra added visibility. I have all my resources at the end of my presentation. Now, I would ask everybody who's listening and watching, if you have a favorite utility that you can't do without, please type it in the chat field and put your computer club group name and your name, and I can pick up your email address off the registration list. And if we get a bunch of really neat ones, I will send it out to everybody who attended this presentation, and maybe we'll find some new utilities that we would like to give a try, like the YTD that Joe talked about. That might be something that, you know, the light bulb went on and you said, aha, I've been looking for something like that. Or you want something very easy like I do, and you go the Computer Hope way. So I hope you learned something new. And Mr. Kennedy,
yeah.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, one that wasn't kind of clear, the malware anti-exploit program, is that a separate one than malware?
Yes.
Okay, so I need to get
And if you look at the, this will be up on the website by this evening, but you need to Google that. You cannot reach that per se from the Malwarebytes site. You have to Google free Malwarebytes anti-exploit, and it will take you to the link to download it. And you need to download it for each and every browser that you use.
Okay, that's good.
Nifty little one to have.
Yeah. Somebody did ask earlier, before you talked about Malwarebytes, if you recommended something other than antivirus, and you did. A person asked the question, and maybe you can answer, if we get Ccleaner for free, how do they make money?
Because they have a paid program.
Yeah. The same goes with TeamViewer. It's free to me to use, but the enterprise version is very expensive. So there's enough people that use it, lets me get it for free.
Ccleaner has a paid program. Malwarebytes has a paid program. Avast has a paid program. This is where they're making their money. And by the way, Avast has a feature that we'll get a pop-up every once in a while where they say you have these programs that need to be updated. Again, it's your choice whether you want to do it there or you want to use something like FileHippo, where, you know, you don't even have to, you know, you just, it pops up and you can do it from there, your choice. I just like FileHippo because otherwise the stuff that I don't get notified about, I'm not going out to websites and looking for updates. I don't have time. So I appreciate being nudged in the right direction, again, with my choice as to whether I want to update it or not. I'm no longer using Firefox because I get a horrendous script error all the time, but I keep it on my computer in case I need to do screenshots for somebody.
That sounds good. I'll let you know that there's a lot of activity going on for the chat room with people putting stuff on there for you to read later on.
There better be.
Yeah.
I've got their names, you know.
Yeah.
And hey, you guys, I'll put a plug in for the conference.
Very
Love
good.
to see you at the conference in person. I'm looking at my picture right now. I don't think I look that good anymore, but that's okay. But love to see you at the conference, and you might want to check with your president and your editor and your webmaster and see if they have submitted their website or the newsletter and sent it to me with the PR info that I sent them. The drawing is a Echo Tap that you can use for your group for a raffle. It might get you a few bucks. And, but, you know, the clock is ticking on that. The September newsletter is the last issue that you can put it in. And it's free. All you have to do is email it to me, the link for your website and a copy of your newsletter. I will also put a plug in for the contests. So far, we've had about 200 clicks on the bit.ly link for the digital photo contest. We've had about 50 some for newsletters. And lagging, which absolutely amazes me, is the website. You guys out there that have updated your websites, the majority of them have been updated with WordPress. There's one Google, and there's one, well, there's one Weebly, but it's mine, but it's not updated. It's just been that way for the last couple of years. But some of your club's websites absolutely are outstanding now after they have been looking crummy for so many years. And I would ask you to look at your website with the eyes of a stranger who is passing through and might like to come to your computer club for a meeting. How far do they have to look on your website to find your location with the zip code? I know you guys know the zip code. You guys know the area code for your phones, but strangers don't, just passing through. If I'm coming to town, I'd like to attend a meeting. I need as much information on the first page, homepage, or at least within one click. Check your website to see how far you have to drill down until you find the pertinent information. And I'm off my soapbox now.
Well, we really appreciate sharing all of these tools, and I'm thinking that you put together this little toolbox and your computer days are going to be happy days for a long time. I have one more thing to share.
Okay. Elliot Stern, who's the PC maestro, when he came to my meeting, he said he has a file, a folder with Ccleaner, whatever, you know, whatever he has told his customers or people he deals with that they need to do on a regular basis. And you can call that folder anything you want to. You could have a link to it from your desktop, and it has a list of everything, and they can click on Ccleaner. It'll pop up, do you want me to update? And they can do that. They don't have to go hunting for it. And I mentioned this to John, and I believe John said he does something about the same thing for the people that he helps. But you always say, you need to do this, you need to run malware bites, you need to do it on this day. Do it. I used to tell the people in the legal department, you know, scan your hard drive with our antivirus program every Friday when you get ready to leave, so that they could remember that. But I thought that was a very good tip. Have all of those utilities that need to have something done with them on a regular basis in one folder. Over to you, John. Did you tell me you do that too?
Yeah, and I told people when they were working people to run all their scans every payday, but to my retired friends and me, you know, once a month we do it. And if you feel the need because of the activities you've been doing, you can always run it as many times as you want to. So put those folders together, make it easy for them to find it. I call the folder protection. Okay.
But good idea. Good idea from both of you guys. And I really appreciate that, because all of a sudden it's going to be my idea now. No, but I always say where I got it from. Yeah. So I will say I heard about this from Elliot Stern and John Kennedy.
Good. Well, I'll put a plug in at the end also for everybody coming back and joining us in November. We will do our next virtual tech conference. And if any of you who are watching today say to yourself, well, I can do that, we would love to maybe have you do a presentation to add to our big list. but you'll get information out in a couple months with all the details. We'll also be uploading all this stuff to the web and sending you email, because I have a hard time when I'm hosting one track. I can't see any of the shows or the presentations on the other, so I have to wait till they come out so I can watch them. So we'll let you know on that. We will leave the chat box up for a while if you think of something else. Otherwise, thanks you so much. Thank Judy. I want to thank Greg. I want to thank Diane for my track. Thank Jim for co-hosting and helping out. And we look forward to seeing you before. And so we'll say goodbye today. And for the East Coast, let's go home and have dinner. Good night. Judy, you can stop sharing.
Thank you.